Good morning, YouTube. It's Trader Rob. Today is Wednesday, February 4th. All right, let's get into it. NQ's got a pretty decent dump here to the downside right at the market open. Let's see here what kind of reaction we get. First band I'm looking at is at the 25,228 down to the 25,210. Do got a signal here for short at the 25,452, targeting the 446 and the 437 with a stop at the 461. As far as the ES is concerned, you got to set up at the 6904, targeting the 6907 and the 6908 with a stop at the 6900. Morning, AP. Morning, Saucy. I think Tradevate is down. Where'd you see that at, Saucy? Coach Cleats, good morning. Nordic, good morning. Karen, Robert, Michael, Greg, William, Keith, Joel, Joe, John. Good morning, all. All right, let's have a day here. Tradevate, internal server error. Oh, shit. That's not good. Might be some karma for NinjaTrader and Tradevate, as I know they were blasting Top Step not too long ago. Oh, pretty strong move back to the upside here. Gold is still not my friend yet. Some pretty nasty price action there on the NQ. That just fucking destroyed a lot of people. We do got news here this morning, 8:45. We got PMI, 9 a.m. We got PMI. We got oil inventory report at 9:30. So good amount of news incoming. Big Stick, not sure what you're asking me there, bud. Have TOI have that music? It's from Epidemic. Morning, Anna. So once again, we're looking at a scalp short here on the NQ at the 25, 452, targeting the 446 and the 437 with a stop at the 461. On the ES, we are targeting a long at the 6904, TP1 at 6907, 6908 for TP2, with 6900 being your stop. Morning, Rob. Nasty. All right, 4 minutes for news. All right, little pocket I'm looking at here on gold just to see how it kind of reacts here at the 50.35.7. Back to the NQ. All right, 2 minutes to news here. Okay, S&P Services PMI came in a little bit higher than expected. Now we got ISM PMI at 9 a.m. Nothing really to do here on the NQ right now. So ended the day yesterday down 600 and change, 640. So pretty nice comeback yesterday, being down 30. I don't know, I think it was down like 32 or 3,400 from the morning. Took a pretty nasty NQ long on a pretty strong impulsive candle and took about 12.5 points of slippage on the trade. Had an 8-point stop, ended up taking 21 points. Actually, the stops didn't even activate. I had to manually close out of those trades. I would have waited a few more seconds. Probably would have been in the profit on all of them, but it's a risky proposition being exposed to the market like that. Pretty nasty opening move on the NQ. Nice little dump to the downside. Almost touched our band here. And then this is just pure destruction. Had 2 signal winners yesterday. 1 loser. Obviously, the loser I took in that early morning. Took a winner in the afternoon. It's not too bad. Signal stats got posted also last night. 74% win rate for January. I think in total we had 17 wins, 6 losses. So in total, about 23 trades. I guess it almost works out to about a setup a day. I went about 3 or 4 days without a setup. Market conditions weren't the greatest. Gold really hasn't had a setup here in the last week. Couldn't get the NQ reversal to load. Take a look at my Discord, Big Stick, and let me know. I can't, if I access my Discord from this computer, it knocks off my live stream. But if you go on my Discord, I'm streaming right now the 15-minute Rob reversal, the gold and oil trade. Probably should go upstairs to make sure that it's, take a look at it. But now let's see how gold reacts here. Not looking to take this trade. NQ's pretty much just sitting in the middle of the range right now. Yeah, and my wife just told me that her Tradeovate's down as well. I don't know if it was the same error as maybe last week, where we couldn't even trade through Ninja, and not necessarily sure because it looks like it's an application error logging into it. I'm not sure if that's seems pretty predictable what gold has been doing. Back onto the NQ here. All right, so a few people from my Signal members are saying that on my Discord, the live 15-minute Rob reversal is running fine. And then Mike said I was able to take a trade on the open and it got closed out no problem. But we'll see if it transferred over since it comes back up. Okay. Yeah, so NQ just did, I'm sorry, gold just did exactly what it's been doing all week. That's why I circled that right there. And then it sweeps it and it knocks out where my stop loss would normally be at. That's why it's just not, for me, not tradable yet. Little unpredictable. Let's see how the NQ reacts here. From the 320 to the 330, the 340 to about the 47s. Let's see. move there. Might look here for some trapped buyers. Let's see. Nothing yet. Nothing yet. Sellers coming in strong. All right, nothing there. Kind of stuck between two bands here. Yes, making a nice little push to the downside as well. Another area here I'm looking at in gold just to kind of see what kind of reaction we get at the 50-30.7 to the 50-34.9. Possibly looking for a continuation short here. This closes red here. I will take a short. Targets at the 25-114. Stops at the 25-174. Adjusted stop to 25-176. Nicely done. 30 points right there. All right, now let's take a look at this signal here at the 25-091. Nicely done. Nice winner there. Hopefully you guys saw what I was looking at there. Here was your trapped buyers right here. Nice red footprint candle, positive delta. Nice little move there. Good job, AP. Actually, I gave you another signal to go short right there as well. Smaller delta positive, so not the strongest signal here. And we already profited 30 points from that band, so all right, first winner of the morning's in the books. Let's take a look at gold here. We'll see how gold reacts. We got two little reactionary areas here. This, to me, looks like a much bigger targets, but kind of got gold surrounded here. I'm not trading it right now, but just spilled coffee all over myself. Give me one sec. All right, nice nice reaction there in gold. This looks somewhat interesting here. Let's see. A lot of buying pressure there. All right, gold reacted really nicely right to the tick. TP1, TP2. It's good to see. All right, now let's take a look at this ES. Kind of hanging around here a lot on the ES. That band goes from the 6940s to about the 6946. About 20 minutes here for IB to be set. Nice rejection off IB yesterday. Morning, Key. Morning, Todd. Let's see what the ES has been doing here. Kind of missed a short there, right here. A little late to that one. That would have been a great short right there. 94 positive delta. Not sure if it would have got me my 4 points, but let's see how gold reacts here. Very nice reaction right there. Right to the tick. And that was my bigger target area. Kind of missed that ES ES trade right there. That would have been a nice little short to the downside. Let's see what the original would have been here. 3.5 points. Get rid of this band now here on the NQ. Don't need that anymore. currently on the NQ, we've got a short setup at the 25,452, targeting the 25,446 and the 25,437, with a stop at the 25,461. Got a few areas here of unbalanced volume. Just kind of want to see what it does if you can get back up in there, in that region, which it should. And then we got a long setup at the 25,091, targeting the 101 and the 109, with a stop at the 25,071. Man, spilled coffee all over myself. Back to the ES. ES, we got a long setup at the 6904.50, targeting the 6907 and the 6908, with a stop at the 6900. And then gold, we mapped out two setups here. Well, this is the third setup today. First one got completely destroyed. This one looks like it's going to be a loser as well. Gold's just 1 out of 3. That's nowhere near what I need to be at. I need to be 3 winners for 1 loser for me to start taking some. Yeah, honestly, I need to see like at least an 80% win rate on the things that I map out. Get rid of this guy as well. I'm still just not seeing it here. ES and Q. Alright, I'm gonna go refresh my coffee now that I spilled half of it on my shirt. Let's try that again. So yeah, I did get a notification yesterday. Got a notification yesterday from Top Step that they're restricting trading on gold, silver, big copper, and I forgot what the other one was, or natural gas. So they're just restricting it now to the micros. On a 50K, it's 5 micro limit. 100K, it's 10. 150, it's 15. And I do remember a few years ago, they implemented something very similar. Yes, gave you another opportunity right there. That was a nice one. That was actually one that I should have been more attentive to. I should have been, damn. Should have been very attentive to this one. That's a perfect footprint there. 59 positive delta, red footprint there. So we say coffee cost me a couple $100. It's worth it. Coffee. So where does everybody think that the NQ is headed for today? Honestly, pretty nasty price action there. You know, those that jumped on short. I mean, I guess if you got out soon enough. But this probably destroyed a bunch of traders. Another dump. Nice retracement. Nice dump. Good retracement. All right, 7 minutes for IB to be set. IB is currently set right at our TP2 at the 25 leg 108s. Kind of annoying that it's right on the same line. All right, Mike, have a good one. So Faust, yeah, that's one way of kind of adjusting. The way that I've kind of formulated is I base my targets based on the actual footprint chart that I'm on. So if I'm on a higher time frame footprint, I'm typically looking for bigger targets, which is my 30-point target on that reactionary band that we took a trade on earlier today. But when I drop down to my 20 range or my 30 range footprint, my targets also decrease down to 10 points, 15 points. So I'm always adjusting my I'm always adjusting my targets based on what footprint chart I am going off of. So that's one way to kind of, you know, obviously if you want to use ATR, obviously you can. If you get into a very low ATR environment, you know, that's something that you can obviously adjust. But if my, like on this ES trade, which was the one that I said was beauty right here. So on this ES trade here, where we trapped a lot of these buyers that came in pretty strong here, and you know, they were able to pretty much halt them there. You know, this for me would be a 3 to 4 point target, just based on the footprint range that I'm using here, which is a 12. And if I want to scalp, you know, if I'm scalping something and I'm down to my 4 range chart, which is what I use for my scalps, you know, then you can kind of adjust. You're getting a better risk to reward on the smaller footprints, but the bigger ones will obviously give you a little bit more confidence, and I would say. You know, I think healthy movement on the NQ on a 5 minute, well, what's the ATR now? Let's see. 65. Yeah, it's pretty strong ATR right now. I'd say on the 5 minute, we usually, if you could hover around the 35 to 40, you're usually pretty good. 50. Oh damn, I forgot to take a look at my my strategies upstairs. Alright, let's see if there's any little scalping opportunities here on the NQ that I can look for. Oh, that looks juicy. It's juicy. So the biggest one that I go to is the 120, which is equivalent to 30 points. That's when I take my my reactionary bands. I'm sorry, the purple bands that you see on the chart. Now in this smaller area for a scalp, this is on the 30. which is equivalent to about 7 points. Nothing there that I like. What else do we got? Did a pretty good job of balancing this all out, though. There. I don't like that either. Gold's taking a nice little dump. All right, IB for the NQs at the 25,390 and the 108s. Now, it's a little hard to see with my TP1 there, but it's there. TP2, I should say. All right, run a little poll here, see who's green or red today. Let's see. All right, so IB's got some pretty good volume attached to it. So do the hundreds. So both these areas, sorry, I know they're overlapping and it's kind of annoying, but the only issue with the IB is that we've got a signal entry so damn close to it. I'm going to switch down to my footprint. Oh my. I've got my auto syncer thing on with my footprint, which is kind of annoying on this chart. I'm afraid to change it right now. Maybe I get some time to do it here. Automatic. All right, that's better. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Holy snikes. Trump just completed an excellent call with China's president. Wooded oil inventory report came. Oh shit. Oh, huge. Yes, NQ. Order book is pretty thin on the NQ right now. $220s. 220s. Right here. That's gonna be they just balanced that out. They did not actually. They're coming in strong here. All right. Goldman, nice little recovery here. Let's see how it reacts here. This is the first unbalanced volume that it's going to face right now. And that sits pretty much at the 49.78 to the 49.85s. Question for anyone: how many NQs do you trade for a 25 account? Okay, what's the? I wouldn't be more than 1 or 2. Are you talking about an eval or a funded? On a 25K, there's no way I would be trading more than one to 2 micros. Personally. Funded, yeah, no, I mean, shit, on a 50K, I'm trading 3 to 4, so cut that in half. And I don't think they cut your drawdown in half, but still, I think it's slow and steady, man, will win. It'll win the race. You know, I've got a perfect case study with me and my wife. I mean, she's a lot more aggressive how she trades. And she, I believe, took somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 to 17K from funding ticks. She's now currently working on her Lucid funded accounts, but she's trading everything with the E-minis. And you know, but she's also, I think she probably blew 3 or 4 funded ticks. I think she's blown already 2 Lucid funded accounts. So it's you know, there's a price you pay for scaling up. You know, if you catch a good winning streak, you're gonna look like a rock star. But if you want to stay long term and get consistent, steady payouts, I believe the smaller. I mean, I go even smaller, and I group my accounts. I'm in 3 different groups on my funded accounts. So every morning I switch my leader account, which is trading, to 8 funded accounts, and my cash accounts, 1 cash account. Actually, I think today I'm on 2, because I think today is group 3. Yeah. So like right now, my 2 cash accounts are up $64 each. All my PAs are up 187 to 190. I've got my Tradeify that's up 190. My leader's up 611, but that's not included in my P&L. So my P&L that I show on screen are just my funded accounts, or my cash. And I group them, I stagger them. So, you know, if I have a nasty red day, it just hits a group of 8 of my accounts. It doesn't hit all of them. And God forbid if I go on tilt and I start revenge trading, you know, I'm not blowing all 27 of my funded accounts. You got it, AP. So yeah, November and December, she made me look like a chump. But I think slow and steady wins the race. And most importantly, I think when it comes to position sizing, you got to trade whatever does not make you nervous. And I think a lot of people forget that. If you get super nervous in a trade, then you're probably either you don't have confidence in your strategy, or 2, you're taking on too much position. And one test that you can do is just go down to the absolute bare minimum. Go down to 1 micro on whatever instrument you trade, and start taking trades on 1 micro. And I'm pretty sure that you will feel confident on waiting for your TPs, waiting for your stop losses. I mean, you guys have been seeing me trade now for 3 months live every day. You don't see me going all crazy on my stop losses and my TPs. I'm not moving shit around, closing out early, unless there's something on the chart that, you know, if I see that an area that I was trying to target's been balanced out, then yes, I'll make some slight adjustments, dynamic adjustments that I need to. But otherwise, you just kind of have to let your trades kind of play out. And then you can go incremental from there, you know, a couple of weeks, trade on 1 micro. And I know it's not going to be sexy. It's not pretty. It's not what you see on, you know, on the YouTube videos of people making 50 grand, 5 grand. But let's say you grow your account by $200-300 in those 2-3 weeks. Well, now if you scale up to 2 micros, now you might make $600 to $900 in 2 weeks, and now in a month you're up $1,000. You're already at least a third to not a little bit more to getting yourself in a position to take a payout with extremely low risk of blowing that account. you know, you can go on a streak of 15, 20 losing trades and you're not going to bust your account open. Or closed, I should say. But on an E-mini, it only takes 3 bad trades. It only takes 1 day of revenge trading and you're out. You're out of the game. Or at least you're out of that account. Now, there's other strategies. I mean, you know, they use the word gamify now. So, I mean, you could gamify your funded accounts, and, you know, you could do staggered. So you group your accounts. You can have an aggressive account. You could have one that's a conservative account, where if you want to take a little bit more risk, or one idea is, you know, if you group them like how I do, which I've got 3 groups of about eight fundeds, you know, one out of every group, trade it on an E-mini, you know, and that'll be kind of like your sacrifice funded account, but with the ability to maybe take out a quicker payout if you have a consecutive successful winning streak. And I think the dead zone is when you think that you're kind of in the middle, where you take one trade with 3 micros, you take another trade with 5, you maybe scale up to E-mini, you take a loss, you scale down, you take a win on the E-mini, you feel super confident, and that's the worst scenario to be in, because those are the ones where you really get hurt. AP, I think that's a great idea. So at least you've got one account that satisfies your maybe aggressive trading style, and then you've got 4 accounts that are just kind of and don't look at it in a negative way, because, you know, it's also, you can look at it negative where your 25K PA that's trading the E-mini might be up $300 or $400 versus your 1 micro or 2 micros might be up $20 to $40, and you'd be like, well, shit, I wish they were all the same way. That's a trap. That's a trap. Now, again, if you build up a big enough buffer, then you scale incrementally. If you're strictly trading one account, then, I would treat it just like cash, and you gotta risk accordingly. I haven't taken a payout from any of the firms or my cash accounts since November. So all of December and all of January, I have not had anything. I mean, December for me was nasty. I lost about 3K on each cash account. And I think I've gone over how I pay myself with my cash accounts many times. But pretty much those 2 accounts long ago started at 5K each. And when one account got up to 10 grand, I would take a payout of like $3,000, and then the other account would be sitting at about 7 grand, which is always the way that they've always been staggered. And then I would start trading the one with the 7K, the other one, I would take a $5,000 because it would go down to 5 grand again, build them back up. The one for starting from 7 would get to 10. I would take that one back down to 5. The other one would be at 7, and I would just alternate that way. But in December, I took a 3K loss on each one of my cash accounts. So that put them all underneath the, and the funny thing was that November was such a rock star month that I scaled up. I scaled up, and it wasn't until maybe like the last week in December, and then all through January, where I scaled back down to pretty much 3 or 4 micros. So now I've just been kind of on the trail again of building those back up. Now, do I wish I was trading the E-minis in the last 2 weeks of January to February? Yes, but everything's a cycle. And you're going to have bad months. You're going to have, doesn't matter what your win rate is. My win rate hovers at around 75 to 76% now, taking into account December's results. And you can say, okay, well, you're going to win 7 out of your 10 trades. Well, that's great, but you also got to plan for the days, weeks, and possibly months where you're winning 4 out or 5 out of 10 trades. And depending on your risk to reward, you still might be negative. You might be slightly up with commissions. You might be even. And even in January was a decent month for me. I still didn't make up the 3K from each account from December, because obviously now I scaled down, so it's going to take me double the time that it took me to lose in that 1 month of bad trading. I should say bad markets. Yeah. I'll be honest with you, AP, yesterday was a great example. I think yesterday and the week prior on gold, yesterday on NQ, those were 2 scenarios where not only was I personally at risk of blowing funded accounts, but I was personally at risk for my cash accounts. Yesterday's, you could replay the trade from yesterday, my first NQ loss. I had no stops in place. My leader was fine. My eval leader was perfectly fine, but all of my funded accounts, all 8 of them, and my cash, I only had 1 cash account running yesterday, because I have 3 groups. Group 1 runs 1 cash account, Group 2 runs the other, and then Group 3 is where it runs both of them, which is today. But I had no stops in place, and you saw the volatility that we had yesterday. To get to that point, if that bar drops 100, 200 points, I'm out. I mean, my NinjaTrader luckily has I've got a max loss on my cash account that closes out my positions no matter what. I think at about a $600 loss for the day, which I don't even really need that high. I could probably even bring that down to like $400 the way that I'm trading right now with micros. When I was trading with E-minis, the 600 was a great stop loss gap for me. Not gap, but I don't know why gap seems like the right word there. But it was a good stop loss protection for me. Now I think it might be a little too high. But in an instant with, not only is it a trade copier issue, it's just the market. The market you never know when you're going to get hit with that news situation. Or you get some type of volatility that comes in the market and your stops get blown. You're exposed to the market. And Sorry, I think my recording software there disconnected there for a little bit. Well, I hear my fans running. That means incoming volatility. Fix this already. Whoa. Whoa. Oh, we just blew through the IB. A lot of volatility here. Let's see if we get a footprint confirmation here or not. A lot of volatility just came into the market there, and the IB did not stop it whatsoever. Looks like they want to still take the sucker lower. Come on. That was decent footprint confirmation right there. All right, let's see. Target maybe TP1 here. Oh, that's coming after me, isn't it? I'm okay right there. Shoot. Come on. Come on, buyers. Come through. Come through. All right, break even. I'm out. A lot of selling pressure here. Let's see. Ooh, that was a good one. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. That would have been a great one right there. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Come on. Have some strength here, buyers. Not much to the downside right here for protection. Unfortunately, the 70s, which is not going to help in the stops. Tagged stop loss there. '70s had a little bit of protection for you, but that was past the stop. Well, that's kind of dirty. It just ran right through the IB. I mean, it just destroyed the IB right there. Get rid of this guy. Yes, got hit too. Oh no, it did not. It didn't tap in yet. Looking at the NQ chart. Oof. That was a bit unfortunate. So my break even is set to 4 ticks of offset. So it at least should have covered my commissions. I don't think I took anything extra on that. This guy. All right, I think I'm going to call it a day here on YouTube. We do still have a setup down here at the 24,960, targeting the 24,974, the 987, and the 949 as the stop. On the ES, I'll be taking a very close look at the 6904, targeting the 6907 and the 6908, but they stop at the 6900. Stay patient out there, guys. Obviously, the market is... I mean, it just got super jumpy there, really, all of a sudden. So, just be cautious and live to fight another day. Up about 1.5 hours today, which is nice because I made up my... well, and here's the other thing about the staggered groups that I was talking to you guys about. So yesterday I took a $645 loss combined over 8 accounts. So each account was down, I think, roughly $50. And that was just that one group. So that one group had a losing day. Now today, yes, it's nice that I made $14.50, but it's on a fresh set of accounts, you know, on group 3. Now, when I say fresh, I mean that they haven't been traded. They didn't take any loss yesterday. Now you could say, well, if you were trading all 27 accounts at the same time, you could have made up the loss and then put a win on those days yesterday. Yes, you can. There's always the thought process of scaling to the sides and, you know, copy trading everything with the 20. But personally, I feel very comfortable. I feel really very emotionless on my trades. And I'm just going off of what charts are showing me. And I really like where I'm at as far as trading is concerned. All right, everybody. I will see you guys here tomorrow, same time, 8:30, right at the market open. Hopefully we'll catch a few bangers here tomorrow as well. Take care.